Welcome to this live session on top algorithms and data structures you really need to know. Let's get started with algorithms and data structures. To get started with algorithms and data structures, there are various options available. I'll quickly let you know what all top algorithms and data structures you need to learn in order to have an appropriate knowledge related to algorithms and data structures is concerned. So here, to get started, algorithm and data structures are key components in computer programming. You can quickly get started with introduction to data structures, which are one of the fundamental concepts in computer science. In this video, you can get to know what a data structure is, give you some real world analogies, and talk about a few things you should know about them. Algorithm is informally, few aspects of algorithms will be considered here in video session number 3. You have to understand time and space complexity, wherein time complexity is the number of operations an algorithm performs to solve a problem as a function of its input size. Space complexity is the amount of memory an algorithm needs to store as a function of its input size. Introduction to static arrays. You should be able to understand what arrays are. Static arrays are arrays with fixed length specified at compile time. When you know the maximum number of elements an array will need, you most often use a static array. Dynamic arrays are arrays which are created at runtime. If there is uncertainty as to how big an array will need to be, or it needs to grow or shrink throughout the life of your running program, you should favor using a dynamic array. Recursion using binary search. A problem that can be resolved recursively usually involves breaking the problem down into successfully smaller subproblems. A recursive function calls itself from within the body of the function. This can be a procedure which successively applies an action to smaller subcollections of its parameters. You will be able to understand what a stack is. A stack is a collection of elements in which items are added and removed in last in first out fashion, and it is abbreviated as LIFO. Queues is a container for items or elements in which we add and remove from it in a first in first out fashion, sometimes abbreviated as FIFO. Introduction to linked list. An element of a linked list is a node. So our node in this case will be a structure. It will contain a data point. This integer that it holds some data and it will have a pointer to the next node in the line in our linked list. Introduction to binary search tree. A binary search tree, often denoted by the acronym BST, is the data structure consisting of a set of nodes where each node refers to at most 2 other nodes. Binary search tree performing a search. To search a BST, we start at the root node, then successively traverse to the left or the right nodes to narrow in our target. Binary search tree inserting elements. Inserting a node into BST requires that we find the appropriate leaf node in the tree in which to attach our new node. Our binary search tree contains a pointer to the root node and the size, which contains the number of nodes in our BST. You should be able to understand how to delete elements from binary search tree. You should also understand sorting, which is very important, wherein we'll get started with bubble sort. Sorting is a process of taking a list of items and putting them in order. Although we often use a quick sort or merge sort in practice, the bubble sort algorithm is one of the easiest, which you should get started with. You also need to have an understanding of merge sort. Merge sort was invented by famous computer scientist John von Neumann in 1945. It is now one of the canonical examples of what is called a divide conquer algorithm. Sorting using quick sort, which is also a divide conquer algorithm for sorting. It is one of the most common ones, and on average, its running time is big O of n log n. This following quicksort example highlights the choice of pivot and the result of the algorithm after each stage in the process. Representing graphs using adjacency list. Representing graphs using adjacency matrix. A graph can be represented by a square matrix where the dimension is given by the number of nodes in the graph. So if there are n nodes, we have an n by n matrix. Graph searching using breadth first search. A breadth first search is a strategy for searching a graph starting at a given source node and finding a target or tracing out the graph itself from the source to target. Depth first search It is an algorithm for traversing or searching a tree or graph. Graph sorting using topological sort, which is ordering of a directed graph to define to be a linear ordering of its vertices, where a directed graph just means the edges have arrows to indicate direction or precedence. You should be able to understand hashed data structures. A common way of indexing data is by using a hash map, which we use to map keys to values. The indexing of keys to values is built by using a hash function to compute which bucket or location our data will be stored in. Hash data structures has a hash function, which is basically a function that takes arbitrary data and returns a fixed length output. More you can understand in the session. Hash data structures, wherein you will be understanding perfect versus non-perfect hashing. If all the keys are known ahead of time, a perfect hash function can be used to create a perfect hash table that has no collisions. Finally, you'll end up with handling collisions using hash data structures. When you have a large set of keys that you're going to hash into a hash table, and you can always determine or check every possible key, your hash data structure will have collisions. So you can quickly have this session. You can quickly understand all the topics. Around 26 topics will be covered within this program. And to get started, you can quickly play the session. You can quickly sign in or create your account at the option available at the bottom. Once you are signed in, you will be able to quickly get started with this program. This program is available in form of an on-demand video session, which is available for 1 year, wherein you will get interactive chat support. We also provide videos, books, and other resources relevant to algorithms and data structures. You will also achieve a digital certification. You will also achieve exam preparation, which means you can prepare for your college as well as for your university examinations, as well as for the interviews. And you will be getting the question bank for the interviews so that you can quickly crack them, as well as you can apply for various international certifications and you can get prepared. Other modes of training available is interactive online, which is available at a very low cost of 2,114, and a classroom course is available at a price of 2,718. And all these billings are billed per year. So you can quickly get started with us. In order to try that, you can quickly get started with a 1-day support, wherein you can quickly access 1-day video without any other services here. I hope you all understand what and how important algorithms and data structures are. Hope to see you get started shortly on algorithms and data structures. Thank you so much for watching.